All right, we previously talked about sort of like the difference in how the Senate, which is a statewide election system, is different from like the House, which are these single member sort of like district systems. And we mentioned that the number of reps has been frozen at 435 for about the last 90 years. And again, these are our like representative congressional districts. So the question is like, how do these districts get to be the way they are? Who draws them? Who determines the shape? Like all of that kind of stuff, right? So there are a couple of vocab terms that you have to be familiar with to kind of like understand the process. And the first is reapportionment. So reapportionment is the idea that every 10 years in this country, we attempt to the best of our ability to count up the number of people that live in the United States. It's called a census. So it's every 10 years. The most recent census was conducted in 2020. The next one will be in 2030. So we roughly try to figure out how many people are in the country, and additionally, like how many people are in each state. And one of the things we try to determine is what states have gained in population over that 10-year time period and what states have lost population during that 10-year time period. So basically, what happens then is if a particular state has gained in population over that 10-year time period, then they'll be given a larger slice of the 435 representatives. And those representatives would be taken away from a state that has lost population over that 10-year time period. So we're not adding representatives. It's not like it's going to 440, 445, 450. The number's been frozen at 435. The only thing we do with that 435 is just change every 10 years who gets what piece of the 435. So reapportionment has to happen first, where this state's going to get two more representatives, and this state lost a representative, and we go through that process through like mathematical calculations and things like that. Once we determine that there are certain states that are going to be getting an additional rep or two, or there's some states that may be losing a rep or two, we have to redraw those districts that we just looked at. If a particular state has 15 congressional districts, but because of reapportionment, they now will have 16, they're going to have to redraw their congressional districts. Or if they lost a district, they're going to have to redraw that congressional district. That process is called redistricting. So reapportionment is first. We like rejuggle who gets what cut of the 435. And then the next step is redistricting, which is the idea of redrawing the districts in a state to go along with the fact that like you gained a representative district or you lost one. These are the preliminary results of the 2020 census, and what states will be gaining and losing districts. Like what states will be losing representatives and which one will be gaining. Like so, for example, Texas is actually going to be picking up 2 additional seats. So they've gained in population, so they're going to get an extra 2 representatives. Florida gained 1. North Carolina is getting an extra 1. Colorado, Oregon, Montana, they're all gaining representatives. But that means there has to be states that have like lost representatives. And that's coming from like the states at the bottom. So these states have actually lost representatives, including Pennsylvania. Previously, we've had 18 congressional districts. Because of reapportionment, we're basically losing a district. So what has to happen is Pennsylvania has to redraw its congressional districts because they currently have 18, and they have to redo it now so that you have 17, right? It's important to note who's actually responsible for the redrawing of these districts. So the districts are actually redrawn by the state legislature. So whatever party is in charge of the state legislature at the time of redistricting, it gives that party a huge advantage because they're going to be able to draw the districts in a way that probably will benefit like themselves. Because of all sorts of like data being available, we generally know like what parts of the country like Democrats and Republicans like live in. So ultimately, you could draw a map in a way that would maximize the benefits for your political party, like trying to get the advantage in most of the districts, presuming then that means then you're going to have somebody from your party that's going to be elected out of that district. So when the state legislatures draw the districts in a way that is just meant to benefit whatever party is drawing the districts, that's called gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is like an old school term named after a former governor of Massachusetts named Elbridge Gerry, hence the term gerrymandering, because he signed a bill into law in 1812 while he was governor and that created new legislative districts, like this funky dragon looking shape here. And the process of drawing these weird shaped districts to sort of maximize your party's gains just became known as gerrymandering. So again, gerrymandering is the idea of like redrawing these districts if you have to sort of like benefit the party mostly that is drawing the districts. So there are a couple classic examples of like gerrymandering that have existed. That's the Florida's 22nd district is a great example of this. The district is in the green. So all of this area in the green essentially is like one congressional district that's drawn in a way to include certain groups on purpose and to exclude certain groups on purpose, giving a particular political party an advantage, as goofy as that shape may be. The major rules of gerrymandering are that you have to have roughly the same number of people in each district. So today, that's about 764,000 people in each district. And the shapes can be like crazy, but they have to be like contiguous, meaning they have to be like one solid shape. You can't have like Florida's 22nd district here, and on the other side of Florida have a continuation of that. You have to keep them like relatively compact, and they have to be one continuous shape. And you can't have one district cut into another. But you can have these crazy shapes as long as you're roughly including the same number of people in each district. Illinois' fourth district is a classic example historically of a gerrymandered district too. It's two like parts of a district that are united by an actual highway median, right? Like it's a continuous shape because the district actually spans the highway median, which unifies like the two major parts of this green district. Like everything in the white will be part of another congressional district. And again, these are drawn on purpose to give an advantage to a particular political party or not. So again, that's a quick differentiation between reapportionment, redistricting, and gerrymandering. This is a tactic that's used by both Democrats and Republicans. It's not unique to like one party or the other. And again, it's one of the fundamental problems with the way Congress is set up is that there's not a nonpartisan, unbiased group that's established to draw these districts in most states. It's actually Democrats and Republicans drawing the districts, and no surprise, they're going to draw the districts in a way that's going to like maximize like their party in a particular district, which is going to give them better chances to get their officials elected.